In today's session, we are going to talk about SAP pricing. Pricing is used not just in sales and distribution, but also in material management. And the condition technique that lies at the heart of SAP pricing is used in many other areas like output determination, text determination, partner determination, etc. So learning the condition technique for pricing would also help you in other areas of SAP. Just one thing, this course presupposes existing knowledge of sales and distribution module, and if you are coming in fresh, you might find some of the terms a bit confusing. The first step is a pricing procedure determination in a transaction. So in a transaction, you need to get a price. This price is calculated by what is called the pricing procedure. There can be different pricing procedures in the system, and you need to determine one specific one for your transaction, and the inputs for that are the sales area. Sales area is essentially a combination of sales org, distribution channel, and division. The second input is the sales document or document type specifically, and the final input is the sold to party or the customer. So these three sets of information determine which pricing procedure will be used in your transaction. So here is a simplified view of the pricing procedure. This is what the pricing procedure simply stated looks like. It's essentially a sequence of condition types arranged in order. This level here is nothing but a sequence, so you just number them in increasing order, and this is the description. So PR00 is a condition type that represents the base price or the gross price. KA, RA are discounts and rebates. These are freight charges, some tax represented by MWST, and a cash discount condition type SKTO. So essentially a pricing procedure looks like this. You've got a series of condition types which are evaluated one by the system. So you might have a base price of say $100, and you might have a 10% discount for the specific customer. You might have a rebate which says that if you take $1 million worth of goods, you'll get another 2% discount. You might have some freight charges, say 20% freight for heavy equipment. You'll have a tax based on your tax jurisdiction, and you want to give a cash discount of 2% to the customer for early payment of the money. So this essentially is what a pricing procedure looks like. There's a lot more to it, and we will see that in the system. Now before we go to the actual condition technique, let's see how this pricing procedure works in the system. So we are now in the SAP system. We will use transaction VA01 to create a sales order and see how pricing works in this sales order. So I select my customer, which is my sold to party, and then I scroll down to select my material, and the material I use is TAT102 quantity 1. I enter. The system asks me for the sales area. As we discussed earlier, sales area, document type, and customer pricing procedure are the inputs to determining a pricing procedure for a transaction. So I select the first one and I get this error: mandatory pricing condition is missing. So I now need to look at what this error is all about. So I go to the item, and on the conditions tab, this is where my pricing is determined. This is what my pricing looks like, but as you can see, there is one condition type, but then it's all blank everywhere. This analysis button will show you what exactly is going on. It's a pricing log that you can access to find out what's happening on pricing. So this is the condition PR00, and I get the message that the condition record is missing. Now this condition type has been set as a mandatory condition in this pricing procedure, and so the system will not let me go further unless I get a value for this condition type. So if I go back, I open a new session, and now I need to put in a value for PR00 condition type. So I go to logistics, sales and distribution, master data, pricing is part of master data, conditions, and I go to VK31 transaction, create pricing. So this is where I can create a condition record. The other option I have of creating a condition record is specifically using a condition type. So VK11. Now because I know the condition type that I want to create my record for is PR00, I will use this directly. When I press enter, the system says for which key combination do I want to create a record. So I have three options. These are the three access sequences that we will look at when talking about the condition technique. But for now, I will take the material directly for maintaining my price. So here I go. Distribution channel was 10 and material was TAT 102, and I enter the amount as 11, and if I press enter, system's taken everything. So for this material, this is the price. You get a valid from valid to as default, and all I need to do now is save. So condition record saved message, and now let me go back to my sales order and see if this changes anything. So this is my sales order. If I update the prices, hopefully I should get this price that I have set. And when I update prices, I get multiple options. What I want to do is to carry out completely new pricing. So I press B, and there you go. I've got a condition record and my error has disappeared. I save it. The document is incomplete, so I try to edit it, and essentially this PO number has been defined as a mandatory entry. I can just put so document is complete. I save it. So my standard order has been saved. So this is roughly a quick overview of SD pricing in action. Now let's go back to the slides and have a look at what the condition technique is all about. So this is what the condition technique is all about in a nutshell. You have a document. This document has a pricing procedure which is determined based on different factors like the sales area, the document type, the customer type. This pricing procedure has different condition types, and we saw the PR00 condition type and how the system determines that. These condition types in turn have access sequences. So the condition type PR00 has an access sequence called PR02, and this access sequence has different accesses. If you recall, when we went to maintain the PR00 price, we got three options, and we choose to maintain the price at direct material level, we could have also maintained it for the other two levels. And what the excess sequence does is that it goes to level 1 and sees whether there's a price. If it doesn't find it, it goes to the second one and then to the third one. And that is the error this is saying, no valid record exists. Valid record exists. So once it finds a valid record, it stops there, as long as the customizing settings say that. So this is the condition technique in a nutshell. We've seen part of it. Now let us go back to the system and see the rest of it. So this is the order that I created. I double click on the item and then go to conditions, and if I go to the analysis now, what I find is that for my PR00 condition type, there are these 4 excess sequences, and what has happened is that the system has found a value at the last excess, 11 euros. So if I click on this, what you see is that condition record has been found against these values: sales org 1000, distribution channel 10, pricing reference material, which is basically the material, TAT102, and the pricing date of 126, which is the pricing date in the sales order, and this is the record. Now what I will do is maintain another value for this PR00 condition type at this level, and let's see then how the excess works. So I go back, VK11. So if you want to find out which transaction code you're working in, all you need to do is, let me just take the cursor down. All you need to do is click here, and this is transaction VK11. So you go to transaction VK11, which is used for creating condition records. Press enter, and this time I will maintain a record at the top level of excess. My material is the same as before. This time the difference is I've got a customer here. Last time it was customer independent. So let's say for this customer I have a special price of just 7 euros. For all other customers I have a higher price, but for this customer it's only 7 euros. I save it. I go back. Let's create a fresh sales order with the same customer and the same material. So this time, the way the excess sequence is set up, I expect to see a price of 7 euros instead of the usual price of 11. Again, the system asked me for the sales area. I've got a price of 7. So let's see how the system has determined the price. I go to analysis, and here I go to PR00. So the pointer is here, which means the system found this price of 7 euros. Now what about the price at the 4th excess? If we go here, say system message which says that excess has not been executed because previous to this excess at a higher level the system already found a price. So if you look at the details, it says the exclusive indicator has been set in the excess sequence, which basically says that once you find a condition record, you stop executing any further excesses. So This indicator is set in customizing, and we will now have a quick look at how customizing for this works. Before we go to customizing, I want to quickly show how the customizing affects the transaction. So I will create a quick order, this time with material AT101, and I hope to get a pricing error because for this material 101 the condition type is not maintained. So let's go to customizing now. SPR0, reference IMG, sales and distribution, basic functions, pricing, control, define and assign pricing procedures. This is where I maintain my pricing procedure, and if you remember, the pricing procedure that we had was RV AA01, which was the standard procedure that was determined. Now we have a look at the structure of this. So this is what my pricing procedure looks like. It's got 75 entries, 75 different condition types. What I would do typically in a project is copy this procedure and just take out the ones that I don't need. And the condition type that we are looking at closely is PR00. What I have here is some control settings. So this indicates whether it's a manual condition or not. This indicates whether it's required or not. So as you can see, the required sign is ticked on. I will just take it off and save. So I've saved it now. If I go back to my transaction using the same material 101 that I used earlier, I hopefully should no longer get the pricing error. So I go and create another order, VA01. I put in the same customer and I put in the same material 01, put the order quantity as 1, choose my sales org, and you can see there is no error at all. If I go to conditions and see what's happened, there is no PR00. It has not been determined, it doesn't exist, but still I do not get any error, and I can save the document without pricing. The incompleteness is because of the PO number. So this is the effect of customizing. Let's go back to customizing again. The shortcut is V/08 to go directly to the pricing procedure configuration, and this is where we are. So we go to our pricing procedure, and if I stretch it out, yeah, so now you can see the different control elements within a pricing procedure. So we won't go through all of these in this session, but we'll have a closer look at the pricing condition type PR00. So let me go back to the customizing, and I go to my condition types, maintain condition types, and I look for PR00. And if I go into the details, this is what I see. So this is customizing for the condition type. There are quite a few entries and control parameters here, but the one we are looking for is this access sequence. So this will give me all the records that have been maintained for this access sequence. But if I want to look at what makes up this access sequence, I have to go to another place in customizing, which is just next to the condition type. So maintain access sequence, This is a cross client table, which basically means if you make any changes in one client, they apply to all the other clients in the SAP system. So I look for my access PR02, and this is what my accesses exist of. So we maintain two records, one at level 10. If I go to the fields, I'll see that the fields are sales org, distribution channel, sold to party, material. These are system fields that we do not maintain or deal with directly. If I go to my last access, which I maintained as well, I see the fields are simply sales org, distribution channel, and the material itself. So this is where I set up my pricing procedure and the different elements of the condition technique. Hope you enjoyed this session. See you again soon.